Why do we keep Pete around? And since you're having second thoughts about coming on,
I ask myself that all the time. I want to know what everybody else thinks. That's great.
So I'm hoping it at least gives them the idea that, we want to have some fun with them. And what are these new apps along the side? This is just blowing my mind. Kahoot! Coda. AI business cards by Warmly. Meeting recaps, transcripts, and recording from Reed. Prezi for Zoom. Sesh. The visual meeting agenda. Funtivity by Hermes. Breakouts. Huh. We're going to have to check these things out. We might be missing out. Timer. Virtual backgrounds. And we can discover more. Yay! All right, so we'll have to check that out later. Stop the share. Oh, we're live streaming, aren't we? Here I am holding our skirt up for everybody to look. You got your monologue squared away? Gotta start my audio recording. Check. All right, fellas. We're going to give this a shot. It's a little hot. I'm going to turn it down.
Let's do it. Do it. Just making sure my shit works here.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. If I had you. All right.
Yeah, I turned the whole feed off.
Oh.
All right.
All right. So we're good. I just need my palette in front of me so that I can fire the jingles. All right. On your mark.
Do it.
This week on the Media Virus Podcast, the infection team stands behind Alec Baldwin because we'll be damned if we're going to get shot. Just when you thought it was safe to do all kinds of weird naked stuff at home, scientists are getting good at seeing through walls with Wi-Fi. And either a glutton for punishment or succumbing to senility, Buzz Aldrin weds for his 4th time to his wife Anka Fowler on his 93rd birthday. All this, Party City's bankrupt, dating for dinner, another run at recreational cannabis in Delaware, the infection team remembers the Geeter, Maddie's TikTok Nonsense Quarter, and just the tips on this 116th episode of the Media Virus Podcast. It's the Media Virus Podcast. Let's point and laugh at the world burning around us with executive producer Mike Latoris. We're going to start over. BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden.
Makes me tingly in an unfamiliar way.
Grease Monkey Pete.
Damn, Big Daddy.
Here's the thing about the Media Virus Podcast. It's really well done.
And now, spreading the sage nihilism of an aged Gen Xer, your host and mine, the star of our show, the incomparable Maddie Rockdeath.
Hot damn do we have a show for you people this week. I am Maddie Rockdeath. Welcome to the Media Virus Podcast. Please like, subscribe, follow, and share. Go on over and take a look at themediavirus.com. We are still rebuilding it, but it's cool shit to look at. You can check out all of our episodes. get some of our recommendations and so forth. So I've been taking a stroll down memory lane because I've been polishing up the old resume this week, and it's interesting to have your life story, kind of laid out, in front of you. And I've had a lot of, in my life, I've had a lot of sales training, and working showroom sales or floor sales or even phone sales is a lot like it's like acting, because you have to pretend, you have to pretend to give a shit, you have to pretend to like the company, you have to pretend you're not high, you have to pretend you didn't have 3 beers at lunch. So what they do is they teach you how to pretend, essentially how to perform. So they will either, outright show you a film in training or recommend you watch, pretty much one of 3 films. Okay. There's Boiler Room, Glengarry Glen Ross, and The Wolf of Wall Street. Are everybody familiar with those films?
The first one and the last one, but not the middle one.
Glengarry Glen Ross is a absolutely terrific movie. It's a sleeper. Dude, you're talking Al Pacino, Ed, the old guy from Grumpy Old Men. What's his name? Doesn't matter. The old guy from Grumpy Old Men.
Which old guy? That was literally a movie about a bunch of grumpy old men.
No, but I mean, he was the same dude in Glengarry Glen Ross. Anyway, somebody out there should know.
Walter Matthau? Jack
Not
Lemmon.
the other. Jack Lemmon. Al Pacino. And in Glengarry Glen Ross, there is like this, it's a phenomenal movie. All 3 of them are phenomenal movies, but I have a personal love for Glengarry Glen Ross. I've seen that movie a dozen times. I had it on DVD. If I could find it, I'd go look it up. It's not an action film. It's a sleeper, but phenomenal acting. And Al Pacino is great in it. But there's
when was it made?
In the 80s at some point. You can look it up, Pete, because you're the guy that looks things up.
I'm going to look it up. Like I said, I've heard of it.
Yeah,
it's
a good movie. And
it was never movie, something.
In that movie, Alec Baldwin has this infamous brass ball scene, where he's talking about it takes brass balls and how to go out and get, money. And I tell you what, I think one of the reasons that I think that Alec Baldwin is so powerful in that scene is because Alec Baldwin actually has brass balls to go. He went on some show and he was like, no, they're not. They got nothing. My people tell me they got nothing to press charges on. That's exactly how you get charges brought against you, is to go publicly and say, no, they don't. Because see, the thing is that as an actor, just because you're the one that pulled the trigger, you don't have any liability in that. How would you know? But Alec Baldwin was the executive producer of this movie, Rust. And do we have the story there, Mike?
We do. Bear with me. Sorry, I looked up Glengarry Glen Ross and was looking at the cast. My mind's just blown.
Oh, yeah. It's all-star.
But yeah, Alec Baldwin. New Mexico prosecutors have charged actor and producer Alec Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter for the 2021 on-set shooting during the filming of Rust that killed 42-year-old cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin and armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who loaded the pistol which killed Hutchins, were both charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors said in a statement to Vice News, each charge carries a maximum possible sentence of 18 months in prison.
I've heard from multiple sources that they're like a lot of dudes walked off the set. A lot of people walked off the set of this movie because of safety reasons before this.
Yeah. I heard there was issues.
This dude, like Alec Baldwin, just has his head stuffed up his ass.
It would seem.
And yeah. I mean, obviously, first of all, not for nothing, but Billy is the better actor. Fuck you, Alec.
He also had mentioned that it wasn't his fault. He wasn't responsible for knowing about the weapon. That's horseshit. If it goes in your hand, it is your responsibility. And
yeah, I mean,
and it's not like the first time. It's not like it's the first time he's been handed a hot weapon. He has shot scenes before with hot weapons. So, like,
Yeah, I feel like as an adult, if they hand you something that could potentially kill somebody, you should have had training on how to
yes.
check it.
And again, if it was the first time, I might say, well, you know what? You're green. But it's not. The guy has had hot weapons in his hand for his job, which I don't know if everybody feels this way, but I kind of feel like when it's my job, I need to know it and do it well.
right.
You know, not kill anybody while I'm there.
Well, you know, it's funny. Alec's brother, Adam. He played one of my favorite characters in the film masterpiece, Full Metal Jacket. If you ever want to go into the psychology of Full Metal Jacket and what Animal Mother means to me, for the longest time, Animal Mother was my spirit animal. Like it's like, oh, he was just. We actually, a friend of mine, guitar player from the old band, we lived together, and he bought a pit bull, and we named it Animal Mother, which was a strange, but our landlord, who didn't want dogs in the house, and this was our second dog, he let the dog run away, so to speak. I think he stole the puppy and sold it.
Probably.
So anyway, that guy had was firing a anti-aircraft gun, or an M60. And
Big old honking machine gun.
Right, and he didn't kill anybody with that thing. He carried, it's just, I'm just saying, he was a superior actor.
If any of these three people, Alec Baldwin, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, or David Halls, had done their job, Helena Hutchins would still be alive today, Special Prosecutor Andrea Reeb said in a statement to Variety. It's that simple. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set. In New Mexico, there is no room for film sets that don't take our state's commitment to gun safety and public safety seriously. Luke Nikas, an attorney representing Baldwin, said in a statement to Vice News that the decision to charge Baldwin distorts Helena Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe that there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set, Nikas said. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges. And
how do you? Okay, all right. How are you assured? Okay.
The first thing you learn in gun safety is every gun is loaded all the time.
Right, because if a gun ain't loaded, it ain't no good.
Even when it's not, it's guns and microphones are a lot alike. What's the first thing that we know when we sit down to do this show? All the mics are hot. The mics are on. They can hear you, and it will go out live over the air, or Mike will record it, and you will get screwed with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can strike that last part. Nobody needs to know that.
Oh, well, I don't think there's much more to say about Alec Baldwin.
No, I think,
honestly, but
and not for nothing. Scientists are getting eerily good at using Wi-Fi to see people through walls, and I don't know if they can see bullets through guns, but it's worth a shot. The signals from Wi-Fi can be used to map the human body, according to a new paper. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon University developed a method for detecting the three-dimensional...
Hey, researchers at Carnegie Mellon University, fuck you. Now I have to worry about... It's not just... You don't want to get caught jerking off, right? So it's like, you won't even know. Like, they're going to come knock on the door. It's like, listen, we just Wi-Fi saw you Fucking.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with that.
Also, Wi-Fi doesn't mean anything, so you could change it. It's like we
I just saw you 5 gigahertz yourself.
you were
minute.
5 gigahertz yourself.
So yeah, they've come up with this.
What's the over under like on how long do you think it's going to take for we have Wi-Fi generated porn? Where you just see people fuck digital, like completely just the lot those. Yeah. There's a picture in the article, isn't there?
Yeah, I was just reaching for my screen share to do that.
Jesus.
So
It's gonna be like watching Tron porn.
Exactly, because it's all wireframe in this.
There it is.
As you can see, like this guy's thinking. Let me get my.
Something tells me that this is just a digital representation.
This fella's sleepwalking.
Somebody's catching a ball.
This guy,
or is that a small baby's head?
Now this guy's playing the harmonica.
What's he about to get struck with then? Is that
They're probably throwing tomatoes at him. He's playing the harmonica.
Okay.
That guy over to the right, is he like sitting on a golf club or something?
No, I think he's being attacked by a small animal, and he's protecting his groin. He's protecting his groin here, and there's apparently a small animal attacking his foot.
Oh.
This guy, pocket pull all day.
That's what it looks like he's doing. Like the heat signature down low is a little warmer. You know what I mean?
This guy is playing with his nipple on the left. His left nipple. You see that?
He's got his.
He's like left nipple. And this guy, he's just old and he's got bursitis in that other shoulder.
It hurts. What's bursitis?
It's when the fluid inside the sac around your joint, the bursa, isn't lubricating the joint enough, and it hurts.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I feel like cosplayers are going to have a lot of fun with this if it ever makes it to fruition. Because have you seen some of the outfits they wear?
Yeah, there's stuff all over.
Some of the, construction of masks and things that they come up with.
Yep. So little background on this. They use only Wi-Fi routers to do it. To do this, they use DensePose, a system for mapping all of the pixels on the surface of a human body in a photo. DensePose was developed by London-based researchers and Facebook's AI researchers. From there, according to their recently uploaded preprint paper published on Arxiv, they developed a deep neural network that maps Wi-Fi signals' phase and amplitude sent and received by routers to coordinates on the human bodies. Researchers have been working on seeing people without using cameras or expensive LiDAR hardware for years. In 2013, a team of researchers at MIT found a way to use cell phone signals to see through walls. In 2018, another MIT team used Wi-Fi to detect people in another room and translate their movements to walking stick figures. The Carnegie Mellon researchers wrote that they believe Wi-Fi signals can serve as a ubiquitous substitute for normal RGB cameras when it comes to sensing people in a room. Wow.
So basically, they took that scene from Batman Returns or The Dark Knight, where Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman's character.
Yeah, that big TV panel that saw everything that he turned it into a sonar.
He turns everybody's phone into a receiver or whatever, and takes all the sound and turns it into images.
Yes, that's sort of based on. Yeah, I mean that's basic similar idea. Yeah, except using the Wi-Fi radio signal to do that.
Well, that's terrifying.
They wrote.
One step closer to dystopia, guys.
it overcomes obstacles like poor lighting and occlusion that regular camera lenses face. Interestingly, they position this advancement as progress in privacy rights. In addition, they protect individuals' privacy, and the required equipment can be bought for a reasonable price. Huh.
All right, so let's go get some stuff, man. Start making some pornos.
Most households in
Wi-Fi
developed
porn.
countries already have Wi-Fi at home, and this technology may be scaled to monitor the well-being of elder people or just identify suspicious behaviors at home.
That's all I do at home is act suspiciously. Stare out the window.
That's where you're supposed to do all that,
right?
you know. Like,
hey, is the sound of my neighbor beating his kids picking up into the microphone?
That's not where I thought you were going with this, but no, I haven't heard it.
Okay, he's not really.
Go over to the wall that you share with him and put your phone up to it.
I'm sitting on the wall that I share with him. Is the problem?
So, he's the last living member of the Apollo 11 team that walked. He's the second man to walk on the moon. Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin
has now married Anka Fowler on his 93rd birthday. He says they're excited as eloping teens. And you got to admit, if you're going to have a favorite astronaut, Buzz Aldrin's a good choice, because Buzz is the guy who punched out the reporter that kept hounding him about the moon landing being fake.
Yeah.
He just got so sick of it, he fucking clocked him.
That's genius.
And he's 93 now. He was in his 70s when he did this. It was almost 20 years ago.
He's a badass.
He just blasted this guy right in the face. It was awesome. So Bud Aldrin wed his longtime love, Anka Fowler, in a private ceremony in Los Angeles on Friday.
How many times has he been married?
This is his fourth. You'd think he'd know better by now.
Is it divorce or is he just outliving them?
A little bit of both, I think.
Reasonable question, Matt. Reasonable question.
Right.
Where we're going here. Astronaut celebrated his 93rd birthday on Friday by marrying his longtime girlfriend in Los Angeles. He revealed in a statement posted on Twitter. On my 93rd birthday, and the day I will also be honored by the living legends of aviation, I am pleased to announce that my longtime love, Dr. Anka Fowler, and I have tied the knot. We were joined in holy matrimony in a small private ceremony in Los Angeles and are as excited as eloping teenagers. Accompanying the tweet were a couple of photographs and the special day, decorated various pins. Aldrin's marriage to Fowler, who currently serves as the executive vice president of Buzz Aldrin Ventures, according to the Los Angeles chapter of the Romanian American Chamber of Commerce, marks the fourth time that the NASA spaceman is wed. He first married Joan Archer in 1954, before the marriage ended in divorce in 1974. Together, the pair welcomed 3 children, sons James, Andrew, and daughter Janice. Aldrin then
was married 20 years. This guy was married for 20 years before I was even born.
Yeah.
And got a divorce.
He's 93 years old, dude.
I know. Wow. That's just
old people lived before we got here. I know. It's weird.
Aldrin then wed his second wife, Beverly Van Zyl, in 1975. Though their relationship ended after just 3 years. 10 years later, Aldrin found love again with his third wife, Lois Driggs Cannon, whom he was married to for 24 years before they divorced. No, he divorced them all.
Well, there you go. Well, they divorced him.
Right.
He probably got sick of hearing, "Hey, baby, this dick's been to the moon."
this dick is out of this world. You know?
Aldrin, who was the second person to walk on the moon after Neil Armstrong, served as the lunar module Eagle pilot during the 1969 Apollo 11 mission. He is the only surviving astronaut of the 3 who took part in that trip.
Yeah.
Trivia fact: he was in Transformers: Dark of the Moon, and that's a movie basically based around that. What you said, Maddie, that the whole landing on the moon thing was faked and stuff.
Yeah.
Or that there was some sort of conspiracy, and the conspiracy in the movie is obviously that robots landed on the moon like way before we got there,
right?
Or crash landed on the moon. Anyways, I think it's ironic to me.
If you
look at that man, 93 years old. Look at him. stud. Like he's got another dude. He's got another 150 years in him.
I mean, look at the broad he's with. I mean, for 9, I mean,
he's a shit, dude. I wouldn't fuck with him. He looks buff as hell.
Well, think about what they have. They go
look at him
through
here.
their training regimen as
Dude, he's wearing
astronauts.
fucking boots with his suit.
dude, these boots made me laugh.
These boots been to the moon, baby.
They're spray painted. That's silver spray paint on black boots, all day long.
Hey man, she wanted him to wear gray shoes.
She wanted him to wear moon boots.
Hey baby, this dick's been to the moon. Oh, give it to me, daddy. Imagine, dude. Seriously, he's got to be keeping Viagra in business.
Hey, you never know. I mean, going to the moon might preclude you from needing that.
Right? He's like, got all that anti-gravity dick.
And at 75, if you're beating the snot out of reporters,
right? Well, good for Buzz. That's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at least she's hot, right?
Yeah. Hey, good on you. Well, coming up after the break, we have completely forgot.
Okay. Really? After the break in the B block, we're gonna take a minute. We're gonna remember the big boss with the hot sauce.
Oh yeah, the geezer with the heater.
Yeah. We lost Jerry Blavitt. And I thought after that maybe we could chat about 40 ridiculous things that people post online. And then if we've got time, we'll get into some more news. And then for the C block, we've got a all new Maddie's TikTok Nonsense Corner and a brand new number 25, just the tips to throw down.
Very exciting stuff.
So it's going to be a big shoe this week.
Big shoe. You can check us out at themediavirus.com. You can listen to us wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff. You can check us out right here on YouTube. You can give us a call at 646-VIRUS-01. It's 1-646-VIRUS-01. Get your voice on the air on the Media Virus podcast. And all kinds of other shit. As soon as Mike's ready to hit the jingle palette, I will stop fucking talking. That's the
okay. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this.
Well, when the microwave runs, I piss my pants into it for him.
And that's A block.
Jesus.
So it's gonna be like watching Tron born.
Exactly, because it's all.
Everything's going good.
I thought big shoe. I thought that was Ed Sullivan.
Yeah. It was a big shoe. It was a tight fucking show.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was upset when I heard Jerry Blavitt passed.
You know, I wanted to get into it in, I guess, B block has started. Or do you want to? What are we doing?
Hang on, let me get my recording squared away.
Right. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Ruin
Save it
too
for
much.
the show, Matt. Save it for the
Yeah.
show.
That's the thing. And that's, we're in break right now, but if somebody comes in, they're going to go, what the fuck's going on? These guys are just talking about a show they just did. They're doing the show now. Like, it's confusing. Although I have started labeling the YouTube videos recording session.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's good.
And then putting, like today I put Alec Baldwin, Buzz Aldrin. And I couldn't think of anything, so I put Wi-Fi seers. Wi-Fi seers. But you're limited to characters too, so
Right.
I want to blame that.
I'll blame something.
Yeah. And I had a thing about experts that I wanted to get in, because of the whole Alec Baldwin thing. I skipped over, but wasn't fully cooked anyway. Hear the rain on the roof.
It's slowed down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hot weather, guys. This is Delaware, Newcastle. It's raining. It's raining about the last 30 seconds of the microwave when you're popping popcorn. That's how hard it's raining.
Somebody ever told you you're a program director's nightmare?
Why is that?
Just, I don't know. Just occurred to me.
What is it that makes me a program director's nightmare?
You're just kind of all over the place. I get the feeling that records would, like, somebody would just be in your ear, kind of, start the record, Matt. Start the record.
I think, I thought about this because there's so much to go into, and it all relates. And I want to save it for the show.
All right.
There's a big jumble of mess and wires in my head, and I want to explain it.
All right. And we're back on the Media Virus podcast. It's a B block, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to do some B block stuff. For this B block, let's see what I put together for
it. Not that the death of Jerry Blavat is not necessarily A block material.
Right.
But I think
where we went with it.
There's a good chance that a lot of our audience has no idea who Jerry Blavat was. No. Jerry Blavat was a radio personality.
If you're a radio geek, you definitely know Jerry Blavat. I grew up knowing who Jerry Blavat was because my mother was a big fan of Jerry's show when she was growing up, and at one point went to a dance party at the Royal Exchange here in Delaware with some friends, and Jerry hosted the dance party, and she got to dance with him finally after all those.
Oh, he's a hell of a guy too.
That's what I hear. People who knew him back then in the said he was kind of trash, like he was not a nice guy, but apparently through the years he's really apparently turned into a really good guy. Everybody
that's it. I met him probably it's got to be over 20. No. Yeah. Yep. Or 19, 20 years ago.
Okay. Something
like that. And here's the story, and it's also the beginning of this journey that this show that we're on, I think started at that point
with Jerry.
Not with Jerry. However, there was a radio station. It was an AM pay to play station.
Okay.
1360 AM. And they had Jerry Blavat. And I don't think Jerry Blavat had to pay. I think he was an anchor.
Okay. Yeah. It was at one point he bought a radio station in South Jersey.
I think he sold it to John Forsyth, who was the dude that because I think I'm like you're jogging my memory because after talking the owner's name was John Forsyth. And it was like $300 a month, $60 a show, something like that, or $60 an hour. And we bought an hour every week. And that's when, I wasn't the main focus, the guy with the money.
Right.
Right. And the guy with the equipment. But I would show up and we were the paneling. Instead of having a panel, we were the paneling. This guy was Dr. Lou. We had him on.
Yeah.
And that was, I think we might have talked about the Gator with the Hater when he was on. And that's what was, and that's what really held that station there. And that's, we met him like in passing one time because we actually came into the studio to do the show because we were doing the show over the phone and it sounded like shit. All right. And it was on AM. Mm-hmm. So it sounded like an AM sounds like shit.
Yeah.
So you have a phone line. You have 5 guys on a phone line. That's all there is.
Yeah, you were doing were you using a telex board or were you actually on the phone?
We were using a telex. We were using a soundboard and a thing that went over, and we had a call in. There was a woman, and her name was Karen. And we used to scream Karen from Goodfellas at her.
Right.
And we had produced bits and like that. It was that made me go like, oh, this is something like, when that kind of stopped, I kind of felt like we still had the bands. I was still in bands and stuff, but I was like, that was like the beginning of my like radio journey. And then like, going into the digital, Rock Def Radio and stuff like that. So, Jerry Blavat, when I saw that, I was like, oh, fuck, Jerry Blavat died. It's sad, but he was significantly old. He was an old guy.
He was 82.
82.
He made it to 82, passed away at the age of 82, was announced by his family on Friday. He started out his career in South Philly as a dancer on Bandstand, the original Bandstand, before Dick Clark got a hold of it.
Mm-hmm.
By the time he was 20, Blavat began hosting his own radio show that showcased his bright and vibrant personality and captivated the region. Along the way, Blavat took on several nicknames, such as the Boss with the Hot Sauce and the Geeter with the Heater.
The Geeter with the Heater.
Which I've always loved that. I have no idea what it means, but damn, it's good.
Yeah, what exactly is like, a Geeter?
Right? And
or
the Boss with the hot sauce.
We know what a heater is. We know what a heater is. We all know what a heater is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You packing heat.
Packing heat. Yeah. So
the thing about Jerry Blavat that always struck me is the patter, the banter. Jerry Blavat could talk for 4 hours and saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't all that bad because you listened to him and it just kind of flowed. And
that's a hard thing. That's something that we try to do.
Yeah.
We try to do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours a week.
And he did it over songs, talking to people. Like he would mix through I don't know if you've ever seen video footage of him doing his show or seen him in his live performance. While he's spinning records or somebody's spinning records for him, he is on the dance floor. He's dancing his ass off and he's talking to people. He's bumping into people that he knows, and he's coming off with these little rhymelets, these sayings, and it all sounds slick and smooth, and you just want to hear more of it because God damn, this guy, he just doesn't shut up. It's
right.
It was, and for a radio geek, to be able to do that, to keep going with literally saying nothing but keeping people listening is it's just mind numbing to see somebody do it and do it as well as Jerry did it. Yeah.
And it's a hard skill. It's not, I don't know if it's a skill that can be developed, but we're trying.
Blavat was inducted into the Philadelphia Music Alliance's Hall of Fame in 1993, and in 1998, he became part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's Museum of Radio and Records. Blavat coined the phrase, "Keep on rocking because you only rock once," which he later used as inspiration for his 2011 biography, You Only Rock Once, My Life in Music. He remained active in radio, running the Geeter Gold Radio Network and Memories in Margate. Blavat was voted Best Philly Icon in the Philadelphia Magazine in 2018 and was immortalized on a South Philadelphia mural with other local music legends, including the recently passed Wildwood Days singer Bobby Rydell. Blavat's family shared a statement Friday asking Jerry's friends to continue sharing their memories of him. Jerry proudly said, "Life is precious and I am happy. And when I am happy, I want the world to be happy." So he lived his life to the fullest and enjoyed sharing his life with all of you.
There you go. Rest in peace.
Yep.
Jerry Blavat. It was a very, very nice thing that the family posted online. I'm sure we've seen. I didn't make any jokes about Jerry Blavat. I did make a joke about David Crosby.
Yeah, well,
went over like a fart in a driver's helmet.
I saw that on Facebook, on your Facebook post. I was like, "Who is he?"
I posted a picture of Wilford Brimley and said, "Rip David Crosby."
Yeah, that was
just started.
I laughed.
People were angry at me. I mean, not for nothing, but hippies suck. So does fucking their music. Fuck them.
Speaking of the third things that get posted online, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's where I was going. Go ahead. Why don't you share your screen?
Yeah, let me.
For
some reason it loads to the mid. I guess when you shared it, you were in the middle of the page, and it keeps every time I go to load it up, it
goes to the middle of the page.
Yeah, so I've got to scroll back and find where I want to be. All right. So 40 plus most absurd things people have posted online.
Some of these were just pure gold. I mean, some of these were just so funny that I was like, all right, because like a lot of times redirect. Oh, there you go. You got something to do there.
Yeah, I'm trying. There we go.
All right.
There, did it again. Okay.
Nice.
All right. What is a reptile? Not everyone has very strong knowledge or any type of knowledge, it seems, of the animal kingdom and its classifications. This person definitely doesn't know what a reptile or a mammal is. They tried to classify a squirrel and a dolphin both as reptiles, effectively in the same family as lizards. Oh my God. So I don't like dolphins anymore. Squirrels are my new favorite reptile.
I don't think we have to read just I kind of skip
Yeah,
through.
neither a dolphin nor a squirrel is a reptile. Okay. Let's see. No, it's not.
Oh, this is great. It's all right. So there's a picture of a Chinese family, and obviously that is behind them the Great Wall of China. And some douche named Peter said, "Is that Michigan?"
Yes, this is the Great Wall of Michigan.
I remember because they needed that border from Canada. One side's Canada, one side's Michigan.
Yes, Peter, we visit Great Wall of Michigan. Every state has Great Wall.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's not how it works. How do you get YouTube to come film? Matt, I've been asking you this for a long time. How do you keep getting
right?
YouTube to come out?
He's like, I've been calling YouTube all day to come film me, but no answer. How did other people get their videos up there? I really have some funny stuff, but they won't come. And then
best answer, you have to call 1-800-YouTube. They only answer the phones at 2 a.m. on Sundays and Wednesdays.
No, because of daylight savings time, there is no call in this past Sunday.
Wednesday should be very busy. Oh, I love that. It's like trying to call the Media Virus podcast.
We should listen. We should all hunt in the wild for great product reviews.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw one yesterday. My wife sent me this thing because we need to buy more salt, and we enjoy sea salt.
Yes.
And we make this joke about pink Himalayan sea salt, right? That
it's not sea salt. It's
right.
Pink Himalayan salt is salt from the mountains.
But she sends me this, pink Himalayan salt, whatever. Right. And the first review is it said it tastes just like my lamp. So I wish I had taken a screenshot and just sent it to something. We'll have to. But did you know Atlanta spelled backwards is Atlanta?
Or
it's not. It's at Nalta. But that's Bay.
Oh wow!
Bay from the Land Fund. This is terrific. It's someone showing the shadow, a shadow of a tennis racket, and on the tennis racket, there, it is inked. Yeah. The Wilson logo is inked onto the racket so that only the strands are, different colors, and there's a shadow. And a gentleman with not very much common sense said, "Where is the W? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark." Trippy. So the colors aren't gonna. I cuted my hair and it went back to curly. I can take the next line.
Don't you mean cut? Huh?
It's past tense.
PASTTENTS.
I tried to say it past tense.
I see stuff like this every day, and it just sucks the life out of me.
Oh, this is fucking fantastic. I pissed myself when I saw this. So it's just a picture of Joker without makeup from a scene. Like it's a picture of Heath Ledger
as the
right,
Joker.
with the scar as the Joker, with the Joker scar, but he's disguised as the cop. And it just says Joker without makeup. And somebody commented, that's really disrespectful. He was clearly injured in some sort of way. Maybe it'd be a war or what have you. He's probably so depressed his face is scarred like this. He has to wake up every day seeing his own face. Why would you make fun of him like this? Fuck off. And then another person said, seriously, anyone who would make fun of this is just fucked up. I actually think he is still more attractive than like half the guys out there, even with his face like this. And then somebody jumped in and said, you guys realize this literally is the Joker without makeup. This is Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight in a scene where he's hiding in a group of policemen. So people got all bent out of shape online over nothing. Oh my God, is that weird? So this one says, my husband, less than sign, your husband. And
apparently the husband's like, you know it, baby.
The husband has no idea what math symbols mean.
Apparently neither does his wife.
No, obviously she's the one that posted it. And then much love for his gorgeous wife. And then somebody else said, this is cute and I'm happy for you, but I'm gonna let you finish, but and then shows them what those signs actually mean. And I find that very
it's awesome.
It is awesome.
Let's see.
No, this is great. Queen. They crossed out her actual handle, but the NFL been around longer than our government. We've had 49 Super Bowls and only 49 presidents. 44 presidents. However, I did not know that.
Oh wow.
That you don't.
I need to make sure that I die before I need to be put in a home because I'm scared.
Right? These people are fucking stupid.
All right. Apparently something should come with instructions.
The one night we didn't have a wine opener and he is using it. Well, no, this is definitely a woman. And she is attempting to use the blade of a Swiss Army knife.
That literally has a corkscrew on it.
It literally has.
Literally.
Like all she has to do is fold
the
corkscrew out.
So close.
Wait, what? You know that the corkscrew is next to your friend's ring finger on the Swiss Army knife, right? And for those,
why we gotta block out her face? Why can't we? People are cowards. Cowards.
For those of you playing along at home, right there you can see the corkscrew. Wow.
All right. This person's claiming that the UPS driver left the package under the door like this, and this has trapped us in our apartment. Had to call maintenance to get out. And it's a long box and it's holding the door open. But then, who took the picture?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And I guess that's it. Because
that's it.
We're
now on to 40 celebrities that don't use their real names. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care either.
Oh my God. Vin Diesel doesn't use his real name?
You don't say.
You don't wait. So you're telling me that there were parents out there that named their kid Vin? I mean, before Vin Diesel, I'm sure there's a bunch of kids out there named Vin now.
Huh. Apparently, Kat Dennings' real last name is Litwack.
Fascinating.
Well, the picture's a little more fascinating than that fact, but
yeah,
you know,
it's true.
All right. So moving down the line here, we've got a little bit of more news that we can get into since we have a few minutes that we can play around here in our B block.
Yeah. What else is on the?
Well, I found this one. I titled it "Dating for Dinners." This woman claims that she went on 6 dates a week, so she didn't have to buy groceries for 2 years.
Well, that's pretty genius.
Yeah, whoring for dinner. Forget the dine and dash. This former Wall Street trader dined to save cash. Vivian Tu, known on TikTok as Your Rich BFF, first went viral in 2021 with a clip in which she bragged that she went on 6 dates a week to avoid paying for groceries. Between 2016 and 2018, I didn't buy groceries once. Probably saved about $150 a week, she captioned the post, in which she mouthed along with Lana Del Rey's Jealous Girl while on the beach.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Now, in a new interview with Elite Daily, TikTok superstar Tu admitted to her 2.3 million followers that she jokingly made the controversial video and she didn't start going on dates just for food. However, she really did notice an ease with her fiance. However, she did notice an ease with her finances while looking for love. Wow, could you just bugger off for a minute there?
I mean, not for nothing, but like women have been drinking for free for, since people have exchanged money for alcohol, men have purchased women drinks.
Yes.
Now, so I think women know that they can go out and get free drinks.
Yep.
Now, in nature, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything is,
there's something attached.
Right. There are traps. There are predators out there, and there are traps that are set, and that is an easy trap to set for the beginner predator.
Roofies.
Okay?
Yep.
Roofies, or just getting a chick way too drunk. Some chicks you keep buying them, they'll keep pounding them, and they don't realize, it happens. It happens to everybody, where you just drank too much, you had too much fun. This person you're with is having a good time, you're having a good time. Before you know it, you've had somebody paid to have dinner with her. All right, well, okay. I mean, I could see it.
She's
more like Bill, Stafford or Bill's type in mine, but
Yeah, she's cute,
she's gangster too. So
gangster.
I mean, I feel like, well, that's what it said, but she probably, is what she was saying. She realized it was, she didn't buy as much food when she was constantly being taken out to dinner. That's you don't, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, are you dating? Like, how do you keep finding new dudes? Like, or do you have
schedule 6 dates a week so that you don't have to buy groceries? That's a bit much, right?
I mean, it's a bit much, but also, like, are these different dudes?
Probably.
Or, I mean, are they like every time? Like, is there a rotating schedule of dudes that she likes to?
I would imagine.
Get
I
dinner
feel like there might be a rotating schedule of dudes.
So okay, so it's like, Wednesday nights, Peter, we go. It's like Lady and the Tramp. Remember, it's like, on Wednesdays we have the bratwurst. I forget the actual line, but it was.
There's only so many meals a dude's willing to pay for before she has the bratwurst. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, some men are gentlemen,
In Manhattan, how many meals are you buying in Manhattan before she has the bratwurst?
I mean, I couldn't.
I mean, how many guys had to eat tacos?
Before he got to eat the taco.
Before hot dog was on the menu.
I mean, maybe we're not, and we're not slut shaming anyone.
No.
Maybe she was whoring for dinner. Maybe that was She didn't have to buy groceries because she could eat breakfast at his house, pack lunch, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as
Like
she
a
was
big
spreading it around, like if as long as it wasn't one dude feeding her every day, that's
Yeah.
the part that that's the part that would bother me.
And I really feel like as long as everybody was getting theirs, I really don't think there's an issue.
Oh,
I think everybody had to get a little something.
something.
Right.
Someone's got to get some food.
So I also found a list.
When she does it, it's classy. When homeless chicks do it, I'm charged.
I also found a list of the 10 worst states to live in 2023. Thought we'd go through that.
Oh, fun.
Celebrate not being on it.
Oh, terrific. I know New Jersey's on it. Guarantee that.
Well, there's Nevada.
What's wrong with Nevada?
Doesn't say.
Oh. So
Tennessee.
what's Tennessee?
Well, because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Indiana. New Mexico.
Huh.
Louisiana. And add in Spanish. Missouri.
I know people that live in Missouri, and they can attest to that.
South Carolina.
Huh.
It doesn't look that bad.
Oh, it looks nice.
Oklahoma.
Because of all the twisters.
Texas.
And what's the top worst state to live in?
Number one worst state.
In the United States. Number one worst state.
Arizona.
But what are the metrics by which they are?
They give no indication.
Like, if it's just like, hey, it sucks here because it's hot, or is it like oppressive taxes, or is it the treatment of the LGBT community, or like what are the?
Well, based on the list, I'm guessing it's probably the how red that state is, because all of those states were a little red. You notice there was no California.
Right, and all I do is hear people. All I do is hear people complain about how fucking California sucks.
Right,
dude. California sucks so bad that I don't know if they passed that tax where they want to tax you for the next 10 years after you leave.
I don't know if that went through or not, but that sounds very California to me.
That was they wanted to tax people for 10 years after they left California. That was the plan.
It actually caused a mass exodus. A lot of people moved to the Austin area.
Yeah. And then started pulling the same shit that don't get me started. Fucking morons. No, that obviously there's something. There's no metric.
Right.
Give me a metric. Like, I've heard people complain about living in Missouri, but if New Jersey's not on that fucking list, then it's fucked. I guarantee. Listen, no, that's just the way.
New Jersey's not red enough.
New Jersey, a shithole run by the mafia. It's nothing but taxes. My father's being bled to fucking death. It's ridiculous. New Jersey is ridiculous. That's why you have to pay to leave.
By the exact same logic, California. Anyway,
exactly.
Since we're talking about the Democrats and the Republicans, the Democrats in Delaware are attempting to legalize marijuana again. Democratic lawmakers are trying to once again legalize marijuana in Delaware and create a state-licensed recreational industry.
You don't have to. All you have to do is deregulate Delta 8. That's all you have to do. You deregulate Delta 8, and you won't have to worry about a goddamn thing because it's not federally regulated. There's nothing fucking. I mean, you still piss hot if you're still gonna piss for weed. You're still, but it works. And I can walk into 19 fucking different shops that surround the Philadelphia and Delaware County area, get gummies. I bought a fucking joint for $10 at a fucking store with my fucking credit card, with my debit card. I didn't have to go in and fucking fill out some kind of bullshit. In New Jersey legal, let me tell you something. The Delta 8 is far superior product. Far. Especially when ingested. especially when ingested. If you like to eat your weed, Delta 8. That's all you have to do. Because I can't believe that a topical cream I cannot purchase in the state of fucking Delaware, and I can't have it sent to the state of Delaware, but I can have it sent to Pennsylvania because it's not illegal. It comes right from Colorado, and it's a full spectrum cannabis rub, and I can't get that for some fucking reason. There's no fucking reason for it. There's no fucking. It's just controlled because we're controlled by the fucking pharmaceutical companies. That's why. And all of them can go to fucking hell. And I'm harvesting my rainwater, and I got a gun collection the size of 4 fucking knocks. Come and get me. Fuck them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matty Rockdeff for D8.
I actually got none.
We need some sponsorship.
I just talked a bunch of shit about it. Now I'm gonna have an armed militia show at my house.
I was gonna say, I'm not with Matt. I'm in a different location. Leave me the fuck alone. As I was saying, lawmakers introduced bills Friday to legalize possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana by adults 21 years old and older, and establish an industry in Delaware. House lawmakers failed in June to override Democratic Governor John Carney's veto of a legalization bill. Legalization is a prerequisite for establishing a state licensed and regulated marijuana industry. A proposal that failed in the House twice last year. Why
don't you just legalize marijuana because it's the right fucking thing to do? Why don't you just, instead of worried about how much fucking money you can make, how about not picking kids up for having a fucking dime bag? How about that? Is it that fucking hard? No. Philadelphia figured it out.
Carney believes that it is not the right thing to do. He believes that marijuana is a gateway drug. He believes it's wrong and that it needs to remain illegal. He believes that it's dangerous.
All right. So when is he up for re-election?
I think 24.
All right, there you go. We're gearing up to beat him.
10-4. But it really looks like it may have a better chance this time. Looks like the way that they're lining it up, they've got some more lawmakers that are getting behind it, that are not going to wither if their party decides that they need to let them know that if they decide that they want to be part of a bipartisan measure, that they will they're only rhinos, which is something that bugs me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with bipartisan work. At some point, if we're going to get real legislation done, you got to meet in the middle, and everybody's got to give a little bit.
Yeah, why don't we work on the fucking fentanyl problem?
Yeah.
Why don't we try to get some fucking good heroin into this fucking country instead of this fentanyl bullshit? I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this fentanyl shit. You can't score a horse because you don't know what the fuck's in it.
You better just get in your car now and start driving.
Why don't you just throw some poppies?
They're going to be on your doorstep in like 5 minutes.
Throw some poppies.
I mean, that is the fentanyl problem, isn't it? That's the problem. The problem is that the junkies can't get heroin.
Yeah. Well, it's not that they can't get heroin.
Well,
it's just that you can use a very minute bit of fentanyl to cut your heroin and make it go farther.
But you can't get clean heroin.
It's very difficult to get clean heroin because everybody's figured out that by putting just a little fentanyl in it, you can make it go farther. But if you step on it with fentanyl too many times, it becomes a lot of fentanyl.
Right. Yeah, because once the first dude and then the second dude thinks about it, like, I'm going to stretch this with fentanyl. And then all of a sudden, this dude's just booting straight fentanyl. I got an idea. Why don't we start
baby laxatives? Oh, sorry. I mean, that's what everybody else used to step on shit with.
I thought that was just cocaine.
Yeah.
Can you imagine injecting a laxative? God.
They weren't making that. Wasn't making it any better. That was just basically they were,
Yeah, stepping on it. No. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, obviously, in Portugal, heroin addicts go to a clinic. They get clean government-produced fucking heroin, Okay, they get their fix and they go to work. They go do a job.
That is a thing that they do in Portugal.
Right. But here's the thing. The addicts aren't dying.
No. And some of them use those centers to actually shoot up responsibly, I guess. But I've seen some of the documentaries that point those out. There's people who actually go to those clinics so that they can systematically back down and get themselves off of heroin.
Right. You can
you're okay.
Right. You're the person providing you the heroin doesn't want to give it to you. Right. Effectively, they want to see you get off. So if you tell them, hey, I want to get off, you go tell your heroin dealer. You ever try to tell your heroin dealer that you want to back up? It doesn't work, dude. You know what I mean? First of all, no one's ever done that. They usually just go, usually just lose a customer. They go to the rehab or they die. But I mean, if we could listen, if we can take them, let them fucking do clean fucking drugs and then employ them.
Yeah, they can grow the poppies.
They can, whatever they do, I'm sure they can do tasks. You can do shit. Dude, I walked around for fucking 13 years on Percocets. You can do shit. Okay. You're not completely fucking immobilized. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you're being responsibly dosed. I'm just saying that, a lot of these problems we could fix with compassion instead of an iron fist
and logic.
And logic. Okay. We can look at now, of course, Portugal is a small country with a homogenized population. Of course, things are going to work a little bit smoother in that, in that area. But, in microcosms, like maybe, small areas, and then we can see what we can make. We can get what someone who is unmedicated, if it's, and what can he go do? What can they go? What task can they go perform? Can they go? Maybe you don't want them volunteering with children.
No, but they can sweep the floor.
They can sweep the floor. They can fucking put them outside with one of them poking sticks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Pick up litter.
Driving school buses.
No.
Poking stick.
What do you call it then?
I don't know, but it sounds funny. Put them outside with a poking stick.
Put them outside with a poking stick. It's a stick with a nail.
You want to give a medicated individual a sharp object.
Poking
Think
stick.
about that.
Quit it.
Quit
it. Ow. Quit it. Ow. Quit it.
I can just see it now.
Dude, when I first hurt my back, dude, I was running huge fucking table saws fucking racked out of my head.
You have all your fingers. That's amazing.
I do. Yeah, no, I know. Because I still had facilities, dude. Like I could still function. You know what I mean? I was just a little, and it's one of those things.
He always pushed the boards into the saw with his foot. Don't ever ask him about his toes. He's sensitive.
I did work with a guy. We called him Mikey Nine Figures. You don't know why?
Because he cut a toe off. Please tell me it's because he cut a toe off.
No, it was one of his fingers. But that's what you get when you cut off a finger. You become nine figures.
Right.
They would just call him Nines though.
Yo, Nines.
Nines, right to his face. That's what he was called. He was called Nines.
That's the way I would nickname people anyway. I've got two really big guys at work, and both of them have lost weight, but I've always referred to them as Tiny and Smalls. They're my crack team, Tiny and Smalls. Two biggest guys that I've got.
You send them into the inspect sewer lines. What the fuck were we just talking about? Oh yeah, heroin addicts.
There was a time when Tiny and Smalls meant I was sending you 800 pounds of man.
But I mean, now I think with, a regulated
militia.
Well armed and medicated on heroin, clean heroin. We can teach them how to shoot.
Government.
It is kind of weird to trust the government to make heroin. How many heroin addicts would not go to get the free heroin from the government?
I think a lot of them.
A lot of them. It's like, I ain't
Yo,
no fucking
man.
government heroin.
You don't know what's in that heroin, which is hilarious. Yo, man, you know what's in that heroin.
You don't want that government heroin. Think about it.
Somebody, I was
junkies wandering the street with tinfoil wrapped around their head.
What?
Some junkies wandering the street with tinfoil wrapped around their head.
The government's trying to give us free heroin, man. But I think we could, we could solve a lot of problems that way. I'm just saying, a little bit of just like, all right, well, let people do what they want to fucking do and see if they can do jobs instead of, constantly locking them up. And then even if somebody's locked up for, just a record on the charge, it makes it harder to get a fucking job. It changes the type of job that you can fucking get.
That's called libertarianism.
Oh, is that what I have? Okay.
Yes, it's a disease.
Is it, from what I understand now, it used to just be like, you could just be a libertarian where you could say, like, I agree with some things over here and I agree with some things over there, and also fuck the government and abolish the IRS. Hey, by the way, I did hear that the House got through a bill to abolish the IRS. They don't think it's going to make it through the Senate.
Probably not.
But it's a good start. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's definitely a good start. Chances are it's not going to go much further. I also hear that Mike Pompeo is flirting with the idea of running.
Genius.
And doesn't give a damn who's going to be there to oppose him. He will still run if he decides to.
There you go.
And who is Mike Pompeo?
He was he held an appointed position in the Trump administration. I forget which one specifically, but the guy's track record and resume are pretty solid. He's been a public servant all his life, and at every turn, even like in his appointed, he was asked to leave the Trump administration because he disagreed with some policy. He was like, and they're like, you can leave. And like, okay, fine, but this is the way I feel. Like, he didn't back down, and
gotcha.
I won't back. Hey, baby.
Need a lot more of that. A lot more.
There ain't no easy way out.
We're willing to say, you know what? Actually, what we need is a group of politicians from both sides of the aisle that stand up in the middle and say, you know what? You guys on the outside, you're all full of shit. All of you. And we all represent the people who live in America in the gray area. Take your black and white bullshit.
Because let's be purple and figure it the fuck out.
Yeah,
a little bit. We don't have to separate. We don't have to separate ourselves like this.
We don't have to go all the way that way. But let's come together in the middle. We'll eat a little shit on the things that aren't that important and get some shit done.
I mean, we got to establish like the really important things. Like, I should be able to own artillery. Okay, we should be able to arm ourselves to destroy another community, if need be.
I want to park a tank in my front yard.
Yeah, I want to be able.
Absolutely.
Here's the thing: I think we should get rid of
having to pour concrete down the barrel.
Right.
There you go.
And also, listen, I want to abolish building codes, and anything that has anything to do with a homeowners association.
Well,
like any kind of
building codes.
Fuck building codes. Fuck them.
No.
Yeah, no, fuck them. They should be a suggestion, not enforced.
No,
they should be building suggest. No, I should be able. No, I should be able to build a fucking hut and raise my kids in it.
No.
If I want to listen, in American tradition, if I want to use buffalo dung to build my house, I will do it. Americans did it. I'm an American. I should be able to do that.
That most houses are going to resemble the tree house that you had as a kid.
That's fine.
Remember the sketchy building things you did when you built.
Building code. You know what we'll solve? You know what we'll solve? We're gonna solve the homeless problem. Right there. Yeah. No, you can build, if you want to build a shed and fucking live in it, go ahead. Now you're not homeless. Problem solved.
So what if I build a shed on your front lawn?
Well, then I'll shoot you with my cannon. Problem
Yeah,
solved.
exactly. Reason for having the tank in your front yard.
No, right. I've
You know?
explained. No, that's why I started with the artillery, dude.
You're a genius, Maddie. You're a
Right.
genius.
Because an armed population is a polite population. I guarantee you. Listen, if you were to hand every American a gun right now,
That's where I was about to go.
if you were to hand every American a gun right now, you would see a very high spike in violence. But then it would come down and it would stop.
No, there's still
Because all the crazy.
No,
all
those people are too stupid to handle a weapon alone.
Right. No, but we'll weed them out because we've given them a weapon. That's what you're doing is you're weeding out the violent, the stupid, and the weak.
Take off the safety labels and let God sort it out.
That's right. I listen. It's dangerous out there, and you should. I also think it should be socially acceptable for me to wear like protective body armor and a helmet all the time. I'm just saying. That's all.
I mean, it's not.
Apparently, you get spoken to.
An awful lot, yeah. I mean, technically, it's illegal to sell real good body armor.
Why?
Because the police don't want you wearing things to keep from being shot.
See?
Why?
Fascists. That's why.
Because they want to be able to shoot you.
See, that's not fair. If I can get my hands on body armor, I'm getting some body armor. I don't think it's like I said. I don't think I think everybody should be able to have that stuff. I want to wear it. I want to wear it when I walk into Wawa.
It should be issued. You should at 18. You should be given body armor. Not even at 15. You get a starter set at 12. 5th grade is when we teach shooting.
I feel like that could go catastrophically wrong with the amount of handguns that get taken to the school these days.
Now, I don't feel like I'm not opposed to teaching gun safety at an early age.
Oh yeah, like those old time pictures where they used to teach it in school.
Yeah.
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 Like 2nd grade.
Back in the 70s and 80s when we were kids, and there was actually.
Yeah, no, because and then if the kids bring guns to school, then all the kids got guns. It really solves the problem.
If you think back, we're all old enough to remember a time when people still tossed a rifle or a shotgun in the gun rack that was literally in the window of their pickup truck and drove.
My high school. I went to high school in the Poconos. You could dude. There were fucking Geo Metros with gun racks. I'm not joking.
But
can you still buy gun racks at like Pep Boys and whatever? Can you still buy those? But they're probably not labeled as a gun rack anymore.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Like
okay.
3 rifles and ammo under the seat. Like
sporting rack.
My history teacher. Dude, the first day of deer season was you weren't expected to come to school.
Right.
Like school was open and they had like wink wink, yeah, come to school. And if it was a good morning, you came to school with, after you shot your deer, you usually came after kids would show up in camo late.
There was actually a model. There was actually a model of Chevy pickup that came with a rifle. You bought it at the dealership and they handed you here's your rifle. And it already had a gun rack in the back window. It was like, cool.
I mean, that's just how it never dawned on me that any of those dudes were gonna be dangerous and come in. And they were all assholes.
Yeah.
They were bullies. Like these weren't we weren't.
But you never thought they were gonna shoot you.
No, we weren't gentle.
Come here,
souls.
nerd. I'm gonna put buckshot in your ass.
No, we fought all the fucking time.
Yeah. I mean, they get mad at people and hit them.
Yes,
but they didn't run out and get their gun.
They never ran out to the parking lot and got their gun.
And if you said something disrespectful to them, they'd hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? The good old days?
I do.
When you talk about somebody's mom and they just smack you around a little bit?
Right. And that's how problems are solved.
Now they try to get you fired and this, that, the other thing. You know,
This, that, and the other thing. Well, we veered way off of what we're.
That's okay. I mean, we were through everything we needed to really talk about.
All right, so we just rambled on for a couple minutes.
Yeah. And now we can tell people, we can remind people that there's the phone number 1-646-virus-01. There's the website, which is themediavirus.com. And you can find us on Spotify or Anchor, if that's where you like to get your podcasts, where we also show up on like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and all those other podcast places. So find a place where you like to get your podcasts and go get yourself some Media Virus. Also, coming up in the C block, we're going to do episode 25 of Just the Tips. Hold on tight, because tomorrow morning you'll be able to get episode 3 of Just the Tips in its on its own feed.
It's exciting.
And you can run over to themediavirus.com /JTT and see the little page there where it pops up. And you can click through to Spotify and save that RSS so that you get it in your podcast feed regularly. You can just, that way you'll just wake up. You can go to Spotify and save it to your Spotify. You can just wake up on Thursday morning and have a Just the Tips waiting for you. Can you imagine waking up to Stanley on Thursday morning?
It's pretty damn awesome, if you ask me.
I think so.
You can also check us out on themediavirus.com. You can send me an email at matty@themediavirus.com. And we'll be back right after Mike does his thing.
Right here.
damn, Big Daddy.
That was clean. I like that. That was a good ending.
That was good.
For the record, well, actually, we're not on the record right now, but I love veering off with you guys. So, you know.
I appreciate you like driving off into the cornfield.
Yeah, I love driving off.
We're going down a road. I forget where I do. What the fuck are we talking? Oh, the legalization of marijuana in Delaware.
Yep. And
that's what got me on the. I took a hard left for clean heroin. Weren't expecting that one, were you?
Hold on, y'all. We going out in the field.
Sometimes I get to the bridge and I just want to jerk the wheel.
To a bridge embankment. New guy's puking in the corner.
It's one of my favorite things to say in an Uber ride when people start to get weird. Like, hey, you really want to be saying that shit to the guy who can jerk the wheel and run us all into a pole?
Yeah. they shut up real fast.
It's really fun to say that. You got to pick your crowd, though. Not everybody can take that.
It would be. I think what you would put a little extra emphasis on that is be buckling your seatbelt if you don't already have it buckled.
Yeah,
just be like, hey, and it just like.
Not for nothing. I need a light and a button. So when I push the button, the light comes on and says airbags deactivated. Prepare for seatbelt release.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a screen. I need to figure out how I can make that come up on the screen on the infotainment system.
There you go.
Airbags deactivated. Prepare for seatbelt release, and then start a countdown.
Have a sound in the background like the engine's getting faster.
Or you know that sit down, shut up, hold on. Just cut off the sit down part. Shut up, hold on.
Whew.
You okay, Maddie?
I just need to stretch. Show everybody. I got this chair, right? And everybody's complimented my chair, the cow print.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's an office chair, right? So it's a really nice one. It has wheels, but in every office chair that's ever existed, the piston, when you have it in the up position, will just slowly lose air, and you will sink as you sit in it. And if this thing would keep me at the height I want to be, it wouldn't be so bad. Because also there's a difference between when you're sitting up and that piston is working, there's a little bit of cushion.
Yes.
What do you miss?
I miss the chairs we used to have at Union Park BMW. BMW had oh God, these chairs were they were crazy complicated mechanical adjustment, with all these arms and levers and stuff in place and whatever and they didn't look immediately comfortable. Like looking at them, there was mesh and there were all these, like I said, dials and wheels and things to make adjustments. But man, sit in them and they were just like, they just hugged you. It was like, oh, this is great, because you could make all these finite little adjustments to them.
All right. I'm going to come in. We'll start into the TikTok nonsense corner, and if we get some Big Daddy, he'll be here for just the tips that way.
Good enough, yeah.
All right. And we're back on the C block of the Media Virus podcast, and we're going to get into just the tips. So let me share my screen so I can share. Oh, no, I lied. We're not going to do we're going to do Maddie's TikTok nonsense corner. So I'm going to share my screen with that.
Oh.
And then we'll do just the tips later. So let's get right into the TikToks.
I can easily prove you are all brainwashed. Think about it. Think about the conversations you have with other people. What are they about? Oh, well, Kanye said this, and Andrew Tate is in jail now, and Kardashian's ass just got bigger, and there's war in this country, and yet you still deny that the media affects you. Nobody talks about anything real anymore. No one has any personal experiences to talk about because you sit there with your fist up your ass all day consuming TikTok.
So, is that guy Dutch or South African?
I hadn't figured that out. I did follow his account because that's pretty much. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but this podcast is called the Media Virus,
right?
So that's. I was just like, hey, that's a good thing to say at this point.
Okay. All right.
What's next?
I can easily prove you.
All right. Let's see about this guy.
So this is my dog Stains. She's a very needy dog. But for some reason, we always get weird looks when we go to the dog park. Come, Stains. Come on. Come, Stains. I don't understand why.
Yeah. I wanted to kick a dog Stain because of the band. Stained.
Right.
I wanted to get a dog named Stained, and I wanted to kick the dog. That's how much I hate that band. I'm so glad that they failed with any kind of staying power. Because those songs, it'd been a while. Oh God, I just wanted to beat that guy with a fucking bat. Okay. I hated that song so much. I don't know.
The thing to remember about guns in the United States is that it's actually not illegal to make them yourself. And 3D printing doesn't change that.
You are allowed to make your own guns, and you always have been in this country. There's nothing different about 3D printing. When you make your gun, you can't make it with the intention of selling it. But if it does follow those rules and is just a normal firearm, it's pretty much good to go, usually.
Granted, 3D printed guns are a little bit different, but for an unusual reason. See, anything 3D printed starts as a computer file, but that file is just a file until the person who wants to do the printing takes that file and configures it specially so that it'll work on their particular printer. This means that If a designer sends the design for a gun to someone else, what they're sending is not a physical product. It's speech. And speech is protected by the First Amendment.
I just thought that was important information for our viewers to know. That's all. I feel like, I don't know, this TikTok nonsense corner might be a lot of informative things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, first of all, I don't, people hear when I say, oh, it's government. It's like, well, you watch girls dance. Like, no, dude, my TikToks are rarely girls dancing. And if they are, it's a stitch of somebody making fun of that girl dancing. Usually. This is not. This is Jordan Peterson.
If you are not capable of cruelty, you are absolutely a victim to anyone who is. Part of the reason that people go watch anti-heroes and villains is because there's a part of them crying out for the incorporation of the monster within them, which is what gives them strength of character and self-respect, because it's impossible to respect yourself until you grow teeth. And if you grow teeth, then you realize that you're somewhat dangerous, or maybe somewhat seriously dangerous, and then you might be more willing to demand that you treat yourself with respect and other people do the same thing. And so that doesn't mean that being cruel is better than not being cruel. What it means is that being able to be cruel and then not being cruel is better than not being able to be cruel. Because in the first case, you're nothing but weak and naive. And in the second case, you're dangerous, but you have it under control.
Yeah. That's good information to have.
Yeah, it's just, just little pieces of, just little nuggets of information that I think, are important to know.
This guy has a good plan.
The U.S. is sending $45 billion to Ukraine. But what about all the people here who are suffering? Send them to Ukraine. For just 50 cents a day, you can lift a homeless person out of poverty and onto the front line. Who better to fight the Russians than a bunch of mentally ill drug addicts? You may think this sounds insensitive. Sending homeless people into a war zone? They could die. Bad news. They're dying now. And nobody cares. There's no homeless flag emoji in your bio, no $45 billion for them, and the problem keeps getting worse. Do you want our homeless people left alone to suffer on the streets? Or do you want them to meet Zelensky? Half of them are veterans already. They're all trained up and ready to go. We can end homelessness and prevent World War III. Call today!
I mean, he has a plan. It's not as good as mine, but it's a plan. Ralphie May. Oh God, I went down a Ralphie May hole today, man. I love Ralphie May. God rest that man's soul.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love Ralphie May.
He's amazing.
This country, we're so much better than we give ourselves credit for. It's a hologram. Racism in this country is a hologram. It's a tool used by the powers that be to keep us, the populace, looking at each other instead of looking up and seeing what they're doing. And it's been working for a long time. White people are like, oh, don't go over there. Those black people, they're stealing white babies. Oh, Lord, Jesus, you stay away from them black people. The black people are going to get you, all right? And black folks, y'all were the same thing. Those cracker-ass white people, they're putting stuff in chicken, make your junk fall off. Nuh-uh. That's right. Make the thing drop right off. Sure. The truth of the matter is, it's rich and poor. Like where I grew up in Arkansas, there was no black or white. We're all broke. Okay? What's your color? Poor. Okay? And that's the truth of the matter, When you eat your cereal out of a Cool Whip bowl stained with chili or spaghetti sauce, does it really matter if you're black or you're white? You're broke.
I don't know if maybe this row of TikToks isn't. We might be getting into the funnier stuff, but that row of TikTok maybe don't make sense individually.
Yeah.
But as a group, you can kind of see where.
There's a theme.
Yeah. What's which one we doing next?
His friend Josh.
My friend Josh said he wanted to do a skydive, right? He was really interested in doing a parachute jump. He'd always gone on about it. And he said, finally, I'm going to do it. And I went, good for you. And he said, but can you give me some sponsorship money, right? I'm doing it for charity. I said, whoa. You're not doing it for charity. You're doing it for Josh, right? Because you want to do it. You're doing it for you. He said, no, it's for charity. I said, well, in that case, let's try a little thought experiment, shall we? See if you can follow me through this. How about I offer you double the donation not to do it? And he said, that's not really in the spirit of the thing. Okay, fine. You go ahead. As long as you realize that now I've made you that offer and you've declined, you're now doing a skydive against cancer research. Which is particularly appalling given what happened to your brother, if I may say.
Brilliant points. All of them.
That's right. I'm going to do that next time, though.
Hey, today's my first day on the job as a dog groomer. Wish me luck.
Hey, you're actually really mature for you.
Oh, wow. Wrong on
So,
so many of them.
we had a makeup Christmas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, wasn't your wife sick for Christmas?
My wife was sick my wife had COVID for Christmas. Her parents had COVID for Christmas that she got from her. I wound up miraculously not having COVID, just being bored out of my fucking head for Christmas.
But I recently had COVID.
Yeah.
In the past 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
My wife had the audacity to not get it, but get a cold.
That's what happened to me.
Where the fuck do you get off getting a regular?
Let me ask you this:
fucking cold.
Disrespectful.
Has your wife had COVID
disrespectful.
No.
Has your wife ever had COVID?
Yes.
Okay. You have had COVID twice now.
Yes, that was my second time.
That's weird. Because I feel like it was almost like, because I haven't had a booster. I got the first two. That's it.
I had the third shot, and I haven't done anything since then. Now my wife just went back and got her fourth, but that was a function of if I got it again, so that she's got some issues that I really would prefer she doesn't get it again. So I'd rather
absolutely
chance bring it, that I bring a germ into the house that could I don't, because I'm out in the world a little more than she is right now with her being retired. I don't want to bring something home to her, and she saw the value in having another shot, so she went and did that.
Oh, absolutely. You're right to go do it. I'm just saying I haven't. I'm not shitting on anybody that has.
No. I'm making the point that it's interesting that I had COVID, then I got vaccinated, and I got a booster, and I ended up with it anyway. So we're just I'm trying to keep her as safe as I can.
Also, I would like to remind people that coronavirus has been around before. So
yes,
it's not. I would imagine sometimes you're popping hot. You're popping that test for the common cold.
Probably.
I'd imagine.
In the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have to go get tested again because I've got hernia surgery number 2 coming up.
So
that's a nightmare.
Having tested positive twice for COVID, that I'm reasonably sure was COVID. I will say that my second experience has not been as easy as my first.
Wow.
My first one wasn't that bad. It was more like a cold, and in some ways was actually less than colds that I've had, and was able to get out from under it relatively quickly. This time, some of the residual coffee, hacky kind of stuff, like you can hear.
Erica's still
got
to linger. Like she's still like catching her breath more than usual.
Yeah,
because she's asthmatic anyway, too. So
I've noticed that I've still got a little something that that's hanging on. It's not all the time. It comes and goes. And you can hear I'm a little hoarse now from talking a bit.
No, dude, you're a small guy, but you're not a little hoarse.
But you know, I've noticed that having it this time, like they talk about the fatigue that can come with it. I didn't notice that as much last time as I do this time. Like spells of weakness and fatigue, I have definitely felt like there's been things that I've gone back. I feel pretty well, and like going back doing certain things, I have noticed that I'm not quite 100% right now. I feel okay, but I go to, there's some things I go to do and makes me a little more tired than normal. Or
what's funny is
do certain things.
Okay is a relative term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because let me put it this way. For last year, the year before, I guess it would be 2021.
Right.
And a couple of years before that, I was dealing all the time with terrible infections.
Mm-hmm.
There were, how many times did I talk about, the infections that I had?
Yeah.
I felt like, I had no energy, and I would, I would check my sugar, and my sugar would be in the 200s, and it would ask me how I feel. And I feel fine. Because I felt fine.
Right.
I'm fine. And, getting COVID kicked my ass.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as much of a cold as just I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. There's
definitely... And then when the infection took hold, is when I went to the hospital, and because of all the because of that, all those antibiotics, I haven't had another infection. Knock on wood. And I control my sugar.
I was going to say, you've also changed your lifestyle a little bit.
I control my sugar, and I have changed my lifestyle, and fine is now a different line.
Yeah, it's much higher.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that I feel fine or I feel okay. That's a relative, and you really kind of have to examine it, and you got to be careful too, because you are Irish, and we have a tendency of accepting our surroundings. Just kind of, just kind of like dealing with it. Like if your knee hurts, you kind of deal with it. You know what I mean? There's that tendency there to do that. Part of that tendency, I think, and I for me, having ADHD has really affected my health. The fact that I can't, like, things like, time blindness, executive paralysis, these things are real. We have so much to do. You just can't get yourself to pick up the phone. And that's what, that's one of the things. One of the reasons I opened the show with, I've been polishing up my resume, is, I like having a job where they tell me what to do. Right. And I just would like to do something, I would like to work in a more comfortable environment than the one I'm currently in. That's it. Just be more comfortable. And not have to like bring my own toilet paper, to work.
Yeah. I mean, good chairs, soft toilet paper. Those
right. Chairs that don't break and I crack my head open, which happened to me twice. So things like that. Heat, air conditioning, just little things.
Climate control.
These little things. But one of the reasons that I was kind of doing that is because I am forced to do things, and it gets me started. You know what I mean? And then if I have downtime, I went to, how to start is like, let me clean up my Google Drive so that I can make more sense of because I have old stuff from Death Rock, PA, and all this other stuff. Like, let me try to make sense of this. And then, and that's when I was cleaning that up. And then I'm like, ooh, my resume. And then I dug into my resume for a little bit, and then I had to get back to work. So that's how my ADD, works. And when you think, when you're like that, you don't take actions like make appointments for yourself and things like that. But this guy explains it pretty well.
Very succinct. Yeah. I identified with a good bit of this.
Yeah.
So what's it like having ADHD? Well, okay, everybody, we got about 1 million things to do today, and we're going to get to none of them. Hyperfixation. Tell me something good. Well, we're doing a new playthrough on a modded Skyrim run, so we're going to be on that for about 12 weeks. By the way, we like painting now. Painting? Why? I don't know. Are we any good? No. Got it. Motor functions. Talk to me. Gotta go. Within parameters. Anxiety. Where are we at? Everybody hates us. Maybe we should change. I don't wanna. All right. Attention span. Attention span? Don't even know why I ask anymore. Memory. Hey, you want to hear a fun fact? What? No, I'm trying to remember the name of the coworker we're talking to. Beats me, but did you know Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt? Okay, logical reasoning. Let's do shots. That is not logical. Oh, I'm addiction. I swap with logical for the day. Oh, Luke. I'm sorry. Wait, what was the question? So, what's it like? Nah, it's fine. Hey, do you want to grab a beer? It is 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Yeah, no, me neither. It was a joke.
There you go. I feel like all of us identify, with that, which is why we enjoy doing this. And me being the one with the worst case, obviously, I'd make me the host.
I mean, honestly, I've never been diagnosed. I've always suspected it and moved on.
No, I've been diagnosed several times, just because I don't know who's got my medical records.
Yep. And I think I deal as effectively as I can with what I've got going on, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I don't. That's the problem. But good for you, man. Because you know what, people who have ADHD and function within life's parameters do well for themselves.
They can,
usually excel.
Yep. And there's a guy I know who was medicated for a while, and at some point he was in a bad accident and spent 6 months on his back in traction trying to get back to having a life, and he had the time to think, and he was forced to turn that eye in on himself, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to make my life work for me so that I can live medication free and do my own thing. And when he got back to living a real life, he wasn't, stuck in someone else's home, laying flat on his back in traction. He structured his life in a way that made sense and enabled him to function.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. And that's where it's the direction I'm headed. But it says, for me, everything's a slow crawl. One baby step at it. Me recognizing I have to do something.
Have you considered having a tragic accident and being in traction for 6 months?
You're the second person to recommend that to me. The first was when I had my back, I had a slip disc, and I've been living with it. And somebody was telling me a story how their grandma had the same situation, could barely walk for years, but then she was in a terrible car accident and she got all better. I was like, well, I really would prefer not to go that route. I mean, that's just me. I prefer not to be in a terrible.
It is a drastic measure. It is. I'll give you that.
No, I get that. But
sometimes
I feel like I could probably come to the same realization without. I can use. See, here's the thing I've learned. Because I as a kid, when you're growing up, everybody's trying to give you those anecdotes to help you along the way. Maybe give you that piece of wisdom.
I've always tried to glean as much as I can from those little pieces of wisdom.
Yes, and I didn't growing up. I just fuck you, old man type of shit. And so I've started to kind of take that experience, or take that concept of using someone else as a bad example, type of thing. I'm going to learn from his tragic accident. Thank you for bringing that up. You've now inflicted that trauma upon me. And I can take action. So is there a support group that I can join with him?
I don't think so. But this next,
you guys want to start a support group for guys that suffer from PTSD from playing Call of Duty? You ever seen a digital man die before your eyes? 1080p.
So I identified with this next TikTok quite a bit.
I did too, because I think it's a common thing growing up to make "I fucked your mom" jokes.
Well, not only that, I was in a lot of circles. I've always been voted the guy most likely to bang somebody's mom just because I could. And like, there was when I first went into the office from the road. I did a little bit of time with one foot out the door. I was still going out and helping some of the road crews, and we had a kid that worked for us that I actually had known. His parents were friends with my parents years and years before. The kid was significantly younger than I am, but like, we're on site one night and his mother drops him off to the site for work. His car was broken down, and he mentioned who I was, and I went over and I spoke to her. But one of the other guys that was on the crew, the guy who was actually leading the crew that night, pulled him aside as I stood there and chatted with his mom for a minute. The "Hey, how you doing? Good to see you" stuff, and said, "Dude, are you crazy? You're letting Mike talk to your mom? Don't you know what's going to happen? He'll fuck your mom." And they relentlessly tortured this kid that I was going to bang his mother. Like to the.
I've never.
So like, was she that good looking?
Oh no!
That wasn't even the point.
No, just Mike's that good at fucking moms. I mean, not for nothing. Mike married someone's mom.
Yeah, like
and I mean,
my wife already had kids when I got married.
I mean, I'm sure that you guys have had the conversation. Like, I'm not the first one to say she's old enough to be.
Yeah,
your mom.
That was the first thing my mother said to me. She's old enough to be your mother. She's only
right. So this, like, I'm not treading on forbidden territory.
No.
It was like you literally married someone's mom. So let me ask you this question: have you ever been like in your boxer shorts, like in the morning, getting coffee, and your stepson walked in, and you just go, "Fuck your mom"?
The reason I ask is you guys know my ex roommate, right? And he dated the mother of somebody I worked with, and I had to bite my tongue all the time not to bring that up, and like, just to to piss him off. Like, yeah, hey buddy, my friend's fucking your mom. Like, I had to, God, so many times I wanted to do that, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I had the crew leader every night. He would, he's not here tonight. He's probably trying to fuck your mom. I mean, he was relentless. Just really beat this kid to death with it.
I have a feeling that if I ever had a stepson that was, that I married into, and say that kid was 15-ish, I would probably say, "Oh, I fucked your mom."
I've never come right out. My stepson's kind of sensitive in that way. I've never said it, but there's always, every now and again, and I've been told this. I knew that I had the look, but everybody had said, you have this look.
I fucked your mom look.
Yeah, there's there's a smirk that you do that it just screams, "Just fucked your mom." So I knew the look, and like, there have been times when I've just, and he'll just walk out of the room. So without saying a word, yes, I have, but no, I've never said it out loud.
Well, I think you had a bunch of missed opportunities, but probably salvaged your marriage. Because that's, one of the things that I watched the interview with Sarah Silverman one time, and it's something that stuck with me. And it's like, with comedians, the joke is literally more important than the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
And there's so much, and it's lizard brain shit. And a lot of times I have to, that's where a lot of my pauses come from, is that lizard brain wants to say shit. And my cerebral cortex is going, hey, you know what? You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say
Your
that,
frontal lobe's like, dude, no.
No, come on. This sentence doesn't make sense. Nobody understands what you're trying to say. So
but this guy's got it good.
This guy had it.
It's weird. 30 is an interesting age because you're not old, but you're not young. And like, I still want to do childish things. Like I still want to tell my friends that I f***ed their moms. I don't know why. Right, dude? That's like fun. It never gets old. It really does not get old to be like, I f***ed your mom. They're like, I trusted you, you know? It does become less fun the older you get because now some of my friends' moms are like unwell. Oh, boo-hoo. The other day I was like, hey, I f***ed your mom, Mike. And he's like, you know, she's got a thyroid thing and her inner ear is all messed up. I'm like, I'll f*** that fat dizzy bitch. Shut up. Oh, Teresa, that's a nice thing.
You know, me and a buddy had, you know, the I fucked your mom, you know, thing all the time. Now it got weird when his mom got cancer, and it got even weirder when she died.
I can imagine, maybe. Yeah.
It got weird. That's all I'm gonna say. And it sloped off after that. After a while, I mean, not immediately. You know, because you have to, like, when she's like, oh, fuck your mom. It's like, it's like, I know. You know, I know. So
the first time I ever took headshots of myself for a project I was working on this audio podcast. The guy was writing script and we would record our own lines and then he would cut them together with sound effects and orchestrate music. It was really a fun project. I wish I had copies of it still, but I sent him the pictures because he wanted he wanted some headshots of us so that he'd play with them in Photoshop and make some images for the website. And the email that I got back, I sent him like 15 shots of me. He's like, dude, your pictures haunt me at night. You have this grin, and it's like, it's you just. He says, every time I see your picture, I feel like you're telling me you just banged my mom, and it haunts me. Like I don't even have to see it. I'll think about it for a second. It just drives me crazy. So, I guess I'm that guy.
Well, what's next? I guess we have Stanley still hasn't appeared.
I have not seen him, but we can give you information if you want to bang one of your mom's friends the right way. We can get you the information you need. Come on, screen share, work with me. Screen share. There we go. Now we can have just the tips. Just the tips. With Stanley McFadden.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Media Virus Podcast. It is I, the one and only Big Daddy, Professor Big Technology from the U of V, bringing to you another episode of Just the Tips. Tonight's episode 25, BBL. Now, I'm sure you've heard of BBLs. In this case, it stands for Brazilian Butt Lift. And if you've seen a woman, usually a woman, with a Brazilian butt lift, you have noticed that her ass looks big for no fucking reason whatsoever. Ladies, there is a such thing as too big of an ass. I know that sounds really weird for Big Daddy to say something like that, but there is a diminishing return on the size of the BBL. See, if your ass is really big and the rest of you is small, shit don't look right. If your ass is big and your thighs are small, it looks fake. The other thing to consider is that BBLs usually just aren't shaped like an ass. It's weird. It's squared off and lumpy. It doesn't look natural. It looks padded. It looks fake. It doesn't look good. If you want a lifted ass, go to the fucking gym. Squats, Romanian deadlifts, stiff-legged deadlifts, split-legged lunges, Bulgarian split squats. Thicken up them thighs, thicken up that ass in the gym. You can thicken that ass up with cornbread and a high protein diet to make that ass nice and wiggly jiggly. But if I go to slap that ass and it just sounds like hitting a fucking kneecap, then neither one of us are having a good time. I shouldn't break my pelvis trying to blow out your back. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't feel good. It doesn't feel good in my hand. Don't feel good bouncing off my thigh. Don't feel good to look at it. It shit don't look right. So, ladies, if you're gonna get a BBL, then consider going to the gym first. Consider some decently shaped panties. Try something that's a little bit more flattering to your figure. If you have a flatter ass, then perhaps you can invest in underwear that's a bit more shaping, like a thong or a boy short, something that's going to give like a little peek of the booty at the bottom, some double cheek action at the sides, like a thong or a T-back. What the fuck do you call that? A G-string would cost, something like that. But if you're going to go the route of surgery, keep in mind that surgery has some inherent risks in it, and two, keep in mind that shit don't look natural. Just trying to help you out. Natural asses, naturally big ass, has some wiggle to it, has some wiggle jiggle, and that's what we like. You like an ass that's got some wiggle to it. You ever see them bitches, them thoughts twerking and shit? Notice how that ass wiggles and jiggles. That's what we like. If you're trying to shake it and it don't shake it like Jell-O, just shakes like a fucking bag of potatoes. Nah, that ain't it, girl. So consider what you're doing. Consider why you're doing it. Stop worrying about it. If you want to build a better ass, build it at the gym. It is what it is. Dr. Dre, Professor Big Technology from the U of V, Media Virus Podcast, bringing at you episode number 25, Just the Tips. Until then, happy fucking.
It's fascinating that he went the topic that he decided to go with, because Lewis Nelson of the Lewis Nelson Report came into my office today and showed me a woman that he thought was attractive, and what he actually had presented as, this is the most beautiful woman money can buy. And I thought that was odd, and he showed me this picture of this woman. I don't know her name. I couldn't find this picture if I tried, but huge breasts, big, the Brazilian butt lift with the saddlebags, but everything else was thin.
Yeah.
Like, her neck was thin, her face was thin, her belly was like, she almost had a six pack. And I was like, that's fake and it's not attractive. She's like, oh, you don't find that? I'm like, no, that's fake. She looks fucking stupid. That's what she looks. That doesn't appeal to me. And again, if you put a little belly, you put a pouch belly, and a little bit of thickness around a little bit of thickness around here, she'd be hot as fuck. She didn't do it right. You gotta, you gotta earn that ass with a little bit of balance in the front.
Well,
listen, I love a little.
mind,
God damn it!
It's about balance. I can appreciate thin women that are naturally thin and look naturally thin.
Right.
And I can appreciate an attractive larger woman who is
absolutely proportionate
and natural.
Right.
It's when it's that weird,
like that weird
something's been done, and like
the sculpted perfection.
Yeah,
the sculpted the sculpted idea of what perfection is, and it's not. Yeah. And there are dudes, and I'm sure there's superficial dudes that the narcissistic dudes that are going to be into look at that as a prized possession, as opposed to
like I've never been a fan of fake breasts.
No, me neither.
I'd rather have smaller, proportionate, or natural looking breasts. Just my preference. Not
sure.
Yeah, and that's not to say I don't like big breasts at all, but it's the augmented fake that bothers me.
Right. Titties is nice. Fake titties ain't that good. Everybody knows that. Fake titties is fake. You don't like fake beer.
It's all in the movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
They stand
fake ones are like a I don't know what they just don't move right.
Yes. There is a certain weight to a natural breast. And you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. I just, as I was looking at the old iPad there, I was noticing that I'm on 6% battery. So figured I would switch to the iPhone.
Okay.
Which is all charged up. But we're going to be winding down soon. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a pop in from the BBC correspondent Stanley McFadden. Perhaps we're going to miss him this evening. He's always missed, but
yeah, that may be the case. We're not terribly early, but he's usually joined us by this time.
No, right. And it is. I would like to. I think it's time to wind down. Is there anything else that we haven't?
No, we've gotten through the content.
All right, so
call it a day.
I think it's a good idea. I mean,
well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Media Virus Podcast. On behalf of Grease Monkey Pete, the ever-present yet not with us tonight, Big Daddy, and our fearless leader, Matty Rockdeff, I'm Professor Mike Latoris, coming from to you live here in Uncle Butch Studios. You can reach us at 1646-VIRUS01 or check us out on themediavirus.com, where you can catch us next week on Wednesday night. We'll be back. Until then, have a great, great week. Fuck all the way off.